best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds.
Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do.
I've been a world champion, as you know, and I've been a 3-division world champion. But I've only won 1 of the belts. I don't know what it is to be undisputed. I don't know that feeling. Do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable.
Stephen A. Smith spoke with Floyd Mayweather about how he beat Terence Crawford after Crawford defeated Canelo. Smith contended that Crawford had accomplished something historic, noting that every fighter before him had lost in at least 1 weight class. He stated that Crawford deserved all of his popularity and that he should be praised worldwide rather than chastised. According to Smith, Crawford's victory over Canelo was more than simply another triumph. It was a watershed event that sealed Crawford's legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time. He emphasized that Mayweather's statements could not detract from Crawford's outstanding performance.
Best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his...
Jeff Mayweather expressed strong feelings regarding Crawford's surprise for Canelo and stated that the loss would forever be a part of Canelo's history. Canelo claimed that he was the undisputed master of his class, wielding enormous power over his opponents. Regardless, he lost horribly to someone daring enough to grow larger and fight him in his castle. Jeff viewed the situation as more than a minor defect. It is a stain that will go down in fighting history alongside Canelo's name. He claimed that noteworthy occurrences during a champion's peak are what people remember, and that Canelo's defining moment was his crushing defeat to Crawford.
In discussion certainly with Chavez. What did this do to his legacy? Because I don't think he caught, the Floyd fight didn't give him, people didn't really look down on because he was, even though he had 40 fights, he was still, fighting one of the greatest ever in an absolute master. In B-ball, he went up weight classes to win. But now he's fighting a smaller guy, a great fighter, but a smaller guy. Does this damage his legacy in any way?
I think it does. Because, the one thing is this, is that, you were ruling, you were the king of that weight class. And the king of that weight class for a good while. And I think that, he had a huge following because, he became the face of boxing.
And even though it's another, future Hall of Famer, still losing a guy come up a couple weight classes, it kind of makes you seem not as great as you.
Stephen A. Smith was stunned by Crawford's victory and told everyone how much he liked her. He emphasized that he was present at this pivotal historical event, which made the victory more genuine to him. Smith claims that Terence Crawford is the only boxer in history to have climbed up in weight and easily defeated a tough champion like Canelo. He described it as the pinnacle of Crawford's career, setting him apart from the rest. He also stated that this night would go down in sports history as one of the most unforgettable. Smith viewed it as more than just a fight. He considered it a watershed moment in boxing's ideas of greatness.
Terence Bud Crawford moving up 2 weight divisions, really 3 in my mind, because we only fought 1 fight at the junior middleweight division. So he's really moving up from 147 pounds, okay? Terence Bud Crawford moving up to the 168-pound limit in an effort to claim the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world from the grasp of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, I was there. Because let me tell you something right now. There's very, very few sporting events in the world that are better than a super fight in Vegas. I can tell you that right now. There's very, very few events. Props to Nick Khan of the W.
Crawford's trainer knew his boxer had nothing left to show after the fight. He believes Terence has reached a point at which respect is unquestionably warranted. However, some reviewers continued to refuse to acknowledge it. This rage brought to light the reality that Crawford is still fighting stories beyond the ring after defeating one of boxing's most famous figures. Terence's manager informed him that he is not even considering another fight right now because what he performed against Canelo demonstrated his exceptional abilities. Crawford was no longer interested in pursuing names. It was about leaving a memory that could be altered.
Terence Crawford and his well-renowned trainer, two-time trainer of the year and future Hall of Fame trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, recently did an interview in which Bomac stated that a fight is not happening. And this particular fight is a fight that everybody wanted to see Canelo Alvarez take, and Canelo Alvarez refused to take this fight with a 28-year-old two-division world champion, reigning WBC light heavyweight, former two-time WBC super middleweight, the Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, who's one of my favorite fighters and a great person, David, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster Benavidez, who has 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout. Stands at 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach and fights at 175. But the entire time David Benavidez was fighting at 168, Canelo Alvarez was brought up and he never accepted the fight. And so with that said, now people are trying to project this fight on Terence Crawford. And they're saying that Terence Crawford needs to take the fight. So Bomac yesterday did an interview and Bomac said they're not fighting David Benavidez. And so now people are pushing this notion that Terence Crawford is ducking and Terence Crawford is scared of David Benavidez. And if he don't fight David Benavidez, according to Boxing News 20...
Timothy Bradley was one of the bravest critics when he declared Crawford was similar to Floyd Mayweather, claiming that Crawford's name should now be at the top of any list of the best people to have ever lived. It wasn't enough for Crawford to defeat Canelo. The objective was to redefine what pound-for-pound #1 meant. He made it obvious that, while Floyd may have refined boxing over the years, Crawford shown that he could do it even better by defeating Canelo when he was at his peak. Bradley said Crawford's victory put her on par with the sport's initial stars.
Too late now. It might be too late, because guess what? He done. Ain't nothing else he needs to do. Ain't nothing else he needs to do in boxing. Yep, y'all doubt him now? Y'all doubt him now? I saw some of y'all goofies on y'all channels. You come here and you get the real over here. That's what you get over here. You want the real? You want a real breakdown from a real fighter, a Hall of Famer? That's what you do. You come right here and you gonna get the real and you gonna get the truth. Dang it, that's what you gonna get. Leave them other lames alone and come right on over here. Yeah, and get the truth and nothing but the truth. I've been trying to tell y'all for years about this. Been trying to tell y'all for years about Terence Crawford. Everybody put his resume.
Roy Jones Jr. responded calmly, noting that both boxers were at the top of their games. Unlike when Floyd Mayweather defeated Canelo years ago, he also claimed that Floyd had an advantage because he was facing Canelo when he fought young and inexperienced, allowing Floyd to outbox him with greater technique and ring knowledge. Canelo, who had been in charge of his class for years, was completely mature and experienced when Crawford fought him, despite his modest stature. Crawford comprehensively defeated him. Roy believes that Crawford's victory is all the more spectacular since he defeated a Canelo who was much stronger, smarter, and sharper than the one Mayweather fought.
Great in Canelo Alvarez, really 3 weights above his natural weight class. Does that put him in the conversation with the likes of yourself as the greatest fighter of all time?
Yes, it does, and the reason it does is because he couldn't get the credibility down in his own weight class, so he went up to go challenge himself to fight it, and he found a very formidable, good opponent.
Do you think Canelo Alvarez is on the decline or not?
No, I don't think he's on the decline at all.
So you think both fighters are still at their peak even though they're 36, 37?
Yeah, I think they're both still at their peak. The age for Crawford would seem like he may be beyond it, but he hasn't had the fights, the tough fights we put him there. And the years of boxing for Canelo We're gonna put him in a position where they're about equal. So I think they both are pretty much in a great place. I think they're both still in their primes, and this is the best time to see them fight.
Duke McKenzie was stunned by what he witnessed in the ring. He thought Crawford's unrelenting pressure, quickness, and perfection had rendered Canelo speechless. He described it as one of the most packed performances he had ever seen in modern boxing, calling it brilliant and remarkable. McKenzie emphasized that Crawford had not only stopped being a threat, but also demonstrated that he was nearly hard to beat even against the most formidable opponents. He stated that Crawford had established such a high standard that few fighters will ever reach it. His voice was a combination of astonishment and respect.
That feeling, do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable. He's a 3-time undisputed world champion, and he's beaten the best of the best. Now, for me, there were red flags way before this fight, not way before the fight, in the build-up to this fight. Canelo's body language in the run-up to this fight, he turned up in Vegas in his stretch limo, in his Armani suit. He's had his kids and his wife in the back of the car, and he's got out and he's strolling around like he owns the gaff. Now, that all that signified to me was a very comfortable man. He was too comfortable, and Terence Crawford just kept it real from the outset. Tracksuit, no nonsense, went there to win, said what he was going to do, told the world what he was going to do long before the fight. I think he asked for this fight many years ago. The discussion he had with Bill Haney, and I think it was him that actually suggested call out Canelo, which he laughed at the beginning, but then it came to fruition, and now it's come to fruition. I mean, what you saw in that fight yesterday, what I watched in that fight yesterday, it was for the purists. It really was, because you really have to try and understand boxing and know what you're looking at. It was the feints. It was the way that he handled the bigger man. It was the little feints, the little side steps, the little flicking with the jabs, hitting him with the head and the body, the little combinations, the little 2s and 3s, and also with Crawford knowing how to close around, knowing how to win.
Trainer Robert Garcia provided one of the best arguments for Crawford's greatness, claiming that he had done more in this situation than Floyd Mayweather. He claimed that Crawford easily defeated Canelo in 9 to 10 rounds, and that Crawford was so hungry that Mayweather would never do something so dangerous. Garcia stated that Floyd had never been willing to challenge and defeat a larger champion in this manner, making Crawford's victory unique and memorable. He believed the contest was about more than belts and numbers. Legends distinguish themselves from icons by their willingness to take chances and succeed.
Has already accomplished too much, has already done too much, and he wasn't, I don't see that hunger in him anymore. I don't see those changes anymore. He fights flat-footed, throws one punch at a time. He's not fast anymore, and that's why I picked Crawford by decision.
Are you surprised at how easy it was?
Look, not that I'm surprised, because what I just told you, I think Crawford is very talented, and Crawford is hungry to become a legend. He wanted to become that three division undisputed. He wanted to make history by going up 2 divisions to beat Canelo, one of the greatest of all time. So he was hungry for it. I think Canelo has already done so much, has made so much money, that he's not hungry anymore.
Do you think possibly that Crawford is up there with Pacquiao or Mayweather?
I think in accomplishments, he's 3 division undisputed, moved up 2 divisions to beat Canelo. So he's probably he's accomplished more than Mayweather for sure. Mayweather never became undisputed, but that doesn't mean he's better than Mayweather. I think in a fight at welterweight, Mayweather in his prime would beat Crawford, and Pacquiao in his prime would probably beat Crawford. But Crawford has accomplished more.
Do you think Crawford should retire after this or fight someone else?
Look, I think a rematch would be fucking good for Crawford to just beat him again and do the same thing if Canelo doesn't have any changes. If he doesn't, he needs to do a lot of changes. Canelo needs to do a lot of changes. I think a rematch would do triple the money that he did in this fight and then retire. But but I would be so happy to.
Brian Norman, a senior, said Terence Crawford's onslaught on Canelo Alvarez was far worse than anything Floyd Mayweather had done. Both fans and professionals agreed with his statement, which captured the heart of the events that occurred in the ring. Canelo, who was once regarded to be the greatest in his class, wasn't simply defeated. A man who had climbed to weight classes to battle him repeatedly took him down. Crawford's performance was so impressive that it redefined what it means to be great in boxing today. Canelo Alvarez had long been regarded as the top super middleweight. He became the face of boxing, faced the biggest names, and was seen as one of the most marketable winners of his day. Because of his superiority, opponents frequently struggled to deal with his powerful techniques and controlled pressure. However, Crawford shattered that image in a single night. What surprised people the most about the outcome was not the event itself, but how it occurred. Canelo lost neither the fight nor the score. He wasn't as bright as they were, so they abandoned him in search of unanswered questions.
Bud on Porter, I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease. Right? You got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to the Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Even no matter what he did against Makrimov or whatever else, you got to take into consideration what Bud has been known to do when it's time to do it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think Canelo respected him, and I think that was the biggest part.
Canelo just said in the press conference that he's better than Crawford's better than Mayweather, having shared the ring with both. What do you think?
I mean, I think that's one of the things. I think that's one of the things it's opinionated situation because styles make fights. He beat him up. He beat Canelo up worse than Mayweather beat him up. He definitely did that. So in that case, you can ask the question: did he beat him up worse than Floyd did? Absolutely. But I mean, that would be an opinionated thing because styles make fights. We just never know. You know what I'm saying?
Different eras as well,
right? Yeah, different eras, different. It's a lot of things.
The legendary Andre Ward described how Crawford's win fit into the grand scheme of history. He predicted that the battle would be remembered as a watershed moment in boxing history. Ward stated that experiences like these impact people's life and distinguish exceptional fighters from legendary figures who will be remembered forever. Crawford's discipline impressed him the most, as he remained clever, sharp, and in control throughout the fight without allowing his emotions to interfere. This victory marked a watershed moment for Ward, cementing Crawford's status as one of the greatest fighters of all time. By defeating Canelo in this manner, Crawford achieved a level of boxing that few others had ever achieved.
Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford, great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. And he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheiks for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there. The power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another other challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked.
This concludes today's video. Keep an eye out. Until next time.